My name's Craig Monaghan, and I was a rifleman serving with the Rifles from 2006 to 2013. During my time in the army, I was deployed to Afghanistan, so that was ultimately where I got wounded and my career did come to an end. Upon returning from life in the army, obviously I was medical discharged, so it was sort of quite a tough pill to sort of swallow because I didn't really ever have a plan B. Like in my mind, serving the full 22 and beyond was sort of the only option. But so to have a career cut short due to sort of injury, and I was like pretty close to sort of rotating back through into sort of trying to get back to battalion, and it just weren't meant to be. That led into sort of like a massive point in my life where I sort of had no sort of self-worth, so I sort of had to sit down with myself and just go like, well, you're not meant to be here anymore and stuff, and obviously, unfortunately, that did obviously result in the planning and sort of attempt of taking my own life. And when it got to that point, it was like a bit of a, you've got two options now. You can either sort of recover from this, or you can just let it destroy you, and that's sort of where I tried to sort of start jumbling things around and sort of taking control and taking the ownership back of myself. There was a sort of point where I was quite lucky that sort of sport recovery had just sort of come around, like sort of like the sport recovery programs had just coming about. Invictus was sort of just building sort of traction and stuff. I was quite lucky to sort of, I always had this theory sort of through my recovery journey that if I can walk, I can run, and if I can run, then I can sort of play. And I had quite a strong mindset back in the army, obviously, to sort of be the soldier I was. Managed to sort of like get picked for the England Death Rugby team, and then from that went into the Warrior Games, which is the US version of the Invictus Games, and then sort of pretty much competed over there and sort of got a proper taste for sort of what a journey in recovery was going to sort of look like for me. And then sort of coming back from that, I was asked to sort of do like loads of talks and stuff, and that's pretty much where I bumped into Sale Sharks. Was I was literally at a disability day, they were at a disability day, they had a fairly new armed forces project at the time, and it just was the natural sort of progression was to sort of jump on with that and initially come to sessions and then build on from that and sort of to lead it to sort of where it is now. So my role at Sale Sharks is primarily to sort of support veterans in the community, and obviously alongside the project it sort of works well because I've come through sort of that journey of recovery myself, and I've been the wounded lad, and I've been the lad who weren't sure where his life was sort of going to end up after life after the military, and I think that's what sport sort of gave me back, was that sort of control over my own mental health and that control over my own physical health. I know I can probably make a real difference in sort of a veteran's life. So if it wasn't for grants from places like the Veterans Foundation, projects like the Sale Sharks Forces Programme wouldn't be able to run. It's obviously quite important that these projects do run with no government backing, and it literally relies on places like the Veterans Foundation. If you want to help veterans programmes like the one we've got here at Sale Sharks, please play the Veterans Lottery. Thank you.